My girlfriend, Layla, was adamant that I make this post to clear the air. She wants the whole world to know that I love her so much. I was such an idiot. I'd been in a relationship for years, and I was none the wiser. Had I known, maybe all of this could have been avoided. Layla was my first girlfriend. We started dating when we were 10 years old. I still remember the day that I asked her out. I had handed her a note at recess. It was simple, no pouring my heart out or chivalrous display of affection. But nevertheless, it appeared that my hastily scribbled "Will you date me?" yes or no was enough to win her over. I couldn't tell who was more excited. We hung out at recess every day afterward. All my friends made fun of me when they saw me holding Layla's hand on the swing set, but I didn't care. They were just jealous that they didn't have their own girlfriends. We had just hit the 2-month mark when we received the devastating news. Even now, the thought of it is enough to bring a tear to my eye. The moment I laid eyes on Layla, I could tell something was up. She had her head down, staring holes into her feet the whole day. I'd never seen her like that before, so obviously I was worried. "Hey, what's wrong? Are you mad at me?" I asked, breaking the tense silence that permeated the air between us. "I'm not mad at you," Layla murmured, rocking softly on her swing. "I got some bad news." "Oh, what is it?" I pressed, tightly clenching the rusted metal chains attached to my plastic seat. Layla glanced up at me, finally meeting my gaze. Tears welled in her eyes and she began to sob. My heart shattered seeing her like that. "It's gonna be okay. Don't cry," I said, patting her back reassuringly. I tried to be strong for her, even though I could feel the tears stinging at my own eyes. "It's not going to be okay," she shrieked, wailing loudly. "My daddy got a new job. We have to move." The weight of her words crashed down on me like a ton of bricks. This couldn't be happening. I had finally mustered up the courage to confess my feelings to a girl I liked, and now she was being swept away from me. It wasn't fair. Suddenly, I couldn't hold back the waterworks any longer. I sobbed, my lamented cries ringing out through the playground for all to hear. Eventually, Mrs. Hammond had to come comfort us. After explaining our situation to her, she thoughtfully devised a plan so that we could keep in touch, a pen pal system. I was over the moon. We wouldn't have to break up after all. And before you mention it, yes, we knew that phones existed. But honestly, I think Mrs. Hammond was looking for a creative way to help us stay in contact and practice our writing. Not a bad play looking back on it. Touché, Mrs. Hammond. Touché. We wouldn't have to put our skills to the test for another 2 weeks. I made sure to cherish every moment I had left with Layla. Sure, we'd still be in contact, but even at that age, I couldn't delude myself into thinking that we'd still get to spend that much time together after the move. Before I knew it, the day had come. I couldn't stop the tears from trickling down my cheeks when I arrived to class that Monday, only to find Layla's chair empty. Though I'd known it would happen, it didn't soften the blow. Honestly, it only made me miss Layla even more. I was so depressed that my mom had to come pick me up early. Apparently, I was bumming the other kids out. Needless to say, I was ecstatic when I received Layla's first letter. I'd been waiting on pins and needles, wondering if she'd forgotten about me already, so my little heart nearly burst with joy upon receiving something from her. I'm pretty sure my mom still has it somewhere, actually. "Dear Colby, I hope you're doing good. I just started at my new school and I don't like it. I miss you a lot. Love, Layla." I wrote Layla every chance I got after that. I started out believing that she and I could make things work, that if we just kept in contact, then we'd be together again someday. I was such a naive child. As with most pen pals, Layla's letters arrived less and less often. That summer came and went, and we both had middle school to prepare for. Life got hectic. Eventually, the letters stopped coming altogether. Layla and I never officially broke up. Neither of us ever actually said the words, "I'm breaking up with you." But I thought we wouldn't have to. I thought that by naturally drifting apart, we'd both accepted that we were no longer a couple. I couldn't have been more wrong. I'm ashamed to admit it, but over the years, I forgot about Layla. The girl whom I had cared so deeply for in the 5th grade wasn't even an afterthought in my current life. Things had been going great for me. I was a 23-year-old college graduate with a decent job, no student loan debt, and to top it all off, I'd managed to land my first girlfriend since grade school. Jackie was a 5'2" blonde firecracker who didn't have any qualms with putting me in my place. Not that it was a bad thing, but I digress. We had been dating. I had been unknowingly cheating on Layla for almost 4 months by that point. Jackie had been forced out of her parents' house due to a family dispute, so I'd been letting her stay with me. A little too early to be living together? Maybe. Was I complaining? Not one bit. I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, probably because it was yesterday. I had just gotten home from work, and I was absolutely beat. I wanted nothing more than to kick my shoes off, pop the top on an ice-cold beer, and sink into my armchair for an evening of stress-free Netflix binging. Unfortunately, that just wasn't in the cards. "Hey babe, I'm home!" I shouted, slipping off my shoes at the door. "Babe? Oh, I didn't know we were using pet names already." My brows furrowed. We'd been calling each other that for the past 3 months. Why was she acting like she'd never heard that word before? "What do you—" I froze. Only then did it dawn on me. I couldn't believe that I hadn't noticed it before. That wasn't Jackie's voice. I silently flipped open the pocket knife that I keep on me, and I cautiously proceeded into the living room. Blood pounded in my ears with each thunderous step. My heart was beating a mile a minute. I had no idea who was in my home, but I'd be damned if I let them hurt Jackie. Hello?" I yelled as I made it to the doorway. I cringed at how weak my voice sounded. As I rounded the corner, my breath caught in my throat. Nothing could have prepared me for what I'd find. My eyes grew wide as dinner plates when I saw her. Jackie's arms and legs had been bound in rope and her mouth had been duct taped. The abject fear in her gaze made my heart lurch. But what really sent my adrenaline into overdrive wasn't any of that. It was the woman who had a gun pressed against Jackie's temple. I didn't recognize the assailant. She had brown hair, green eyes, and she wore a manic expression on her face. The girl would have been pretty if it wasn't for the depraved grin written across her countenance. What do you want? If it's money, then—" The girl's mouth fell open. "Colby, do you seriously not remember me? I'm hurt," she said, puffing out her lower lip. No. Am I supposed to?" "No shit, you're supposed to. What kind of jerk forgets about his own girlfriend?" I began to rack my brain. I was mentally shuffling through all the situationships and failed talking stages I'd had while in college. None of them seemed like a match. I thought further back, and then it finally clicked. "Layla, is that you?" "Yay, you do remember me. I knew you didn't actually forget, Pookie Bear." I nearly gagged at the obnoxious pet name. Pookie Bear? Ew. "Layla, what the hell are you doing here? Why do you have my girlfriend at gunpoint?" "She's not your girlfriend. I am," Layla shouted, jabbing her pistol into Jackie's head. "She's a dirty whore who wants to break us apart. But you wouldn't let that happen, would you, darling?" "Look, Layla," I began, cautiously stepping closer to the pair. "Jackie is my girlfriend now. We stopped dating after 5th grade." Tears streamed down Layla's cheeks. She looked so distraught. If she wasn't acting like an absolute psychopath, I would have felt awful for making her cry. That's not true! You take that back!" Layla screamed, tightening her grip on the trigger. "I'm sorry, Layla, I can't do that. Jackie is the love of my life. What we had is in the past." No, it's not. I'm the love of your life, and I'll prove it to you." Jackie's eyes grew wide with panic. She began to wriggle back and forth, trying to break free. Her efforts were fruitless. I made eye contact with Layla. She gritted her teeth, and I could discern a fiery determination swimming beneath her features. She was really going to do it. I leapt forward, lunging for the gun. Time seemed to move in slow motion as I did. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying that I'd be quick enough to throw a wrench in Layla's plan. Bang! A deafening shot echoed throughout my house. My ears were ringing as I glanced up from my place on the floor. I was paralyzed with shock. Layla was standing directly above me. She was drenched from head to toe in blood and brain matter. She held Jackie's limp body by the armpits before haphazardly tossing her to the ground. A steady stream of crimson poured from the hole in her skull. I'll never forget Jackie's cold, empty stare, her lifeless eyes never to regain their sight. My bottom lip trembled. How? How could Layla do something so sinister? I glowered up at her. Layla was smiling from ear to ear like the Cheshire Cat. She didn't show a single shred of remorse. No, in fact, she looked almost excited. Layla was nearly buzzing with elation. She began to giggle, barely able to contain herself. "See? I told you, Pookie. We'll be together forever." That was yesterday. Since then, Layla has been monitoring my every move. I'm not allowed out of her sight, and she's assured me that she'll hunt me down if I ever try to escape. I'm trapped here. But why would I ever want to leave? Layla was right. This is how things should be. It's certainly going to be an adjustment, but for her, it'll all be worth it. Layla makes me happy. So happy. I can't believe that I forgot about her for even a second. She really is the love of my life. I am such a lucky man.